Hello, hello. I just want to talk about universal science for a quick second. Something I've never really thought of or believed in, for that matter. I've thought about it, but the science behind it is a little unpredictable, and the concept seems wild. So it's difficult for me to kind of comprehend. But in thinking about this in the last couple of days, man, and especially last night, it dawned on me that two major experiences of my life that were almost universal signs. And I just want to give you a quick example of two of them, and then I'd like to hear your own. The first one happened when I was about 17. I was in Air Cadets from the age of about 14 till about 17. And I tried to acquire my gliders or power scholarship to become a pilot. I did that two or three times. And I did everything that you were supposed to by the book, man. And academically, other than my high school marks, which were non existent because I dropped out, the ground school courses and the flight material that I studied, I'm 100% certain I got 100%. So if I wasn't at the top of the class, I was just at the top of the class with someone else, plain and simple. And everything else, man, my uniform was tip top, my boots were shined. I joined every extracurricular group and activity that you were supposed to demonstrate leadership and desire. Um, and I still didn't get it. I failed the review board at least twice. I think maybe three times. The review board is it's a final process that you sit in front of established commanders in the military, usually pilots, and they bomb you with random questions like, well, you're flying at a heading of 045, and you got a crosswind at 075, and you're not your airspeed is 110 knots or whatever, and then they ask you a question like, how long is it going to take you to get to this destination? I'm sure they're not looking for precision mathematics like a calculator. They're looking at like how good can you approximately estimate, and those kind of questions I bombed under. There was just the pressure kind of got to me, um, and I had a real problem with regulating my emotions then and now. I've talked about this several times. So the I almost there was but my final failure with that process basically had me throwing the towel. I had tried to do it privately myself a couple times, taking familiarization flights and going to the local flying club and inquiring as to how I'd go about doing it. But each and every time it failed, mostly because I'd lose my job. I was pumping gas or something. I wasn't making enough money to become a pilot. But anyway, that was the universe telling me that I was not emotionally or mentally prepared to become a pilot. And perhaps that was a signal, man, telling me that like you're emotionally not regulated to be put in a situation where like life or death depends on staying calm. And although I think I would have stayed calm, I mean, God, who knows, man? Maybe I wouldn't. And that was the universe's way of saying, no, we're saving your stupid ass. The second and most recent, of course, was this individual that was in my life that kind of shattered my everything, made me question reality. Um, I knew nothing was happening with her for years. And it wasn't long ago that I was kind of lying in bed going, like, God, like, I'd wish she'd move on, right? I'd wish she'd pick somebody and start dating someone because that's the only thing that would make me let her go. And she wouldn't. It was almost like I was getting just enough to keep interested. And anyway, she finally did make a choice, and it was a choice of someone that was in our friends group. So it was a double whammy. Not only was she now off the market, she had picked somebody that I didn't think she'd pick, and um, it was a painful enough experience. It woke me the fuck up. But had she just dated someone outside of that circle, I'd still be in that circle, possibly still stuck in drugs and alcohol. And it was that double whammy effect that kind of pulled me out of that cloud. Um, yeah, man, I don't know, like that. It hurt and it was painful, but I thought about that yesterday. I was like, man, that very well could have been the universe talking to me, telling me, like, look, you asked for this. We know that you can do better, that you want more out of life. And this is the only way to get you to fuck wake up. And it worked. I'm 91 days sober, raw dog today, man. No coke, no smoke, no drugs, no drinking. Um, I wake up every day with clarity, man. I go to the gym 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day. I'm eating healthier. I'm feeling better, with obviously without smoking and drinking. Um, and I've never been more focused and calibrated. And feeling competent in my technical abilities and my emotional ability to keep the ball moving forward and not give up. So, man, talk about a blessing in disguise. Those two universal signals, the two key imperative points of my life, right? Where it was a woman that I was just head over heels about, and I just couldn't get her off my mind. And before that, it was the dream that I had always lived, man. I wanted to be a pilot more than anything. It's what dove me into Flight Simulator in the 90s and got me interested in software engineering and reverse engineering and saved my bacon. If I didn't have that experience, I don't know what I'd do right now because I dropped out in grade 10. I'd be shoveling dog shit. Anyway, just kind of an interesting two series connection there that I thought, man, universal signals. I've never believed in it, but there's two examples in my life where if I choose to see it that way, there's some pretty compelling anecdotal evidence there that suggests the universe was speaking to me and it won. Anyway, what are your thoughts? What's your experience? We'll chat later. Bye.